Hello, welcome or welcome back. My name is Sophie. I have not been posting, so I'm ripping off the band-aid and I'm trying to make another video.
Bibliosophie.
So it's my intention to film a little thing and actually just post it today. I've been really reticent to film myself and also have just not really had much to talk about. I last posted exactly a month ago. I told you all that I currently have no more active cancer and then I fucked right off. And the intervening month has been weird and rough and good. I'm struggling. I'm quite frankly struggling in a lot of ways, and I'll get back to that, but yeah. Part of the reason I haven't posted is that I just have not been reading. Last time I talked to you, I was reading the Master and Margarita. I was reading a different edition, which I also have at my disposal, and I still haven't finished. It's a relatively long book. It's not particularly short. It is not a book that you need over a month to read. I'm almost done with it, actually. But basically, frankly, I just have not been reading for the entirety of August. I have been working a lot on my doctoral dissertation. I am in my last year of my doctorate and I'm writing my thesis currently. I've mentioned it on this channel before. I actually have done a fair amount of work on it this summer in odd bursts, but that has really been the focus for me this past month, and I have been reading for that, but really, I have just not done much reading for pleasure. At the beginning of the summer, I made a list of books that I'd like to try to get to this summer, and I want to check in with how I did on that. I actually didn't do as badly as I might think for somebody who literally did not finish a book in the third month of the summer. So what were the books on that list? There was The Apple in the Dark by Clarice Lispector, and this one I have yet to read. I would still like to read it before the end of the year and finish out my Lispector novel completionist project. We'll see if that actually happens, but that one didn't happen. I mentioned wanting to read Hélène Cixous. I've never read her, at least never a full work of hers. I own L'heure de Clarice Lispector, which is about Clarice Lispector, and I did not get to it yet. We'll see if and when I do. I mentioned wanting to read A Mercy by Toni Morrison. This is also another completionism project of mine. I would like to read all of her novels, and this is the next one in her bibliography chronologically that I've not yet read. So this one is quite short. I should read it soon. We'll see. I mentioned wanting to read The Lying Life of Adults by Elena Ferrante, and I did not read that one either this summer. A few things I did read. I finally read Une si longue lettre de Mariama Bâ, I should say, sorry. I read that at the beginning of the summer. I also read Hotel World by Ali Smith, and I reread Just Kids. I did not reread Sense and Sensibility. We'll see if and when I get to that. I did reread The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera, and I did reread Kafka's Letters to Milena. Not absolutely every letter. I kind of fished through the correspondence. If we're going to be perfectly honest, I did not do a super thorough reading of that correspondence. I did read Natalia Ginsburg's Family Lexicon. I did read Transit, and I did read White Nights. Pretty good. I did not read Marguerite Yourcenar Alexis, and it is quite short, and I really could and should get to it, but I guess that's what I will say about every book that I listed as wanting to read and that I didn't read. I listed them because I was interested in them, and I didn't read them because I just didn't read them. So I guess it's a bit redundant to say, oh, I should read this. Yeah, obviously I should read this. That's why I listed them. Anyway, I did read Paradise by Fernanda Melchor, and I did not read I Paint What I Want to See by Philip Guston. I actually did start this quite a while ago, but I'm far from finishing it. It is a collection of interviews and kind of not really essays so much so far, but works. So it's not something that I really need to read cover to cover. But yeah, this is more of a dip in and out of type of book. So why do I mention this? Am I giving myself a grade? No, I even said in my video about summer reading that I didn't intend to read all of these things, and I didn't read all of these things. So fine, good, great. I did fine. I do wish that I felt like I can read currently. We'll see. I might actually start a vlog today and try to do a weekly reading thing again. I have tried previously in the past month, and I just didn't have the enthusiasm, didn't have the capacity. So I am stressed. I'm stressed and I am overwhelmed, and I'm also really grieving. I have the tremendous privilege of jumping back into a very, very active life. I was afraid that by essentially disappearing from the face of the earth for about a year as a performer, I would survive cancer and then kind of have nothing on the horizon and have to rebuild something. That hasn't been the case. I have a lot of projects. I have a lot of performing projects, and I also have a lot of writing projects. And that's wonderful. It's the better problem to have. But I am feeling really stressed out about it. Less some days, I think a little less so now that we have actually started September. I bought myself an academic diary. I have been using it. I literally have used it for 1 week, but I note things, and it's color-coded and everything. So yeah, I have these entire spaces of time that I have a lot of rehearsals and production business. And on top of that, I have to write my thesis. I feel really stressed out about the limitations of my focus and of my body, of my strength. I am definitely seeing the limits of my capacities as a human body. I've always had them, we all do. I'm feeling them more. I'm in a weird space of feeling so aged beyond my years because of a bunch of different side effects, and I have aches and pains. I still have a lot of fatigue. I still have problems of concentration, and then I have just a lot of psychological things that are actually worse in some ways now. I was diagnosed in September of 2024, and we're coming up on 1-year anniversaries of a lot of things. And now that I'm probably out of danger, I'm actually allowing myself to grieve and to not have as much grace as I've had. And it's rough. It's really, really rough. I'm actually getting emotional thinking about it right now. Yeah, and it's sort of completely unsurprising, and then also curious. At least I'm having the pleasure, question mark, of being curious about, once again, the weird things that bodies can do, including brains. And I find it really interesting that I, by and large, had a fine experience, as kind of as good an experience as you can have in pretty intensive cancer treatments of an aggressive cancer. But nonetheless, I do have, I think, trauma, and It's weird. It's weird that I do. And it's also not weird. So anyway, that's my kind of cyclical thinking. I'm having a lot of difficulty sleeping. I'm having just a tremendous amount of anxiety, and a lot of it is also just physiological. My heart is still doing funny things, and yeah. I'm also feeling really at odds with, excuse me, my body. That translates to feeling unattractive. I don't like the way I look a lot of the time. And that also keeps me from wanting to make videos. I'm really, really self-conscious in a way that is sort of surprising. I don't look that different. I mean, I have short hair. I think it's really cute. I've had short hair before, so that's not really it. I don't really know why I feel so at odds, and my best guess is that I don't like the way I look because I don't like the way I feel. And it is sort of my facile shortcut to understanding, processing that I don't feel comfortable in how I am as a body right now and how I keep changing constantly as a body pretty significantly. So I, as a woman especially, just sort of think, well, it's probably just because I don't like the way I look. Or I don't like the way I look because I don't like the way I feel. And it's a stupid kind of conclusion to jump to. Also, I'm wrong because I look great. I'm cute as hell. But yeah, I don't feel like I look cute as hell, and I don't like looking at myself. So that's also kind of why I am making a video, is to just jump in. I have a tendency recently to film myself and then refilm myself, reshoot, because I feel disjunct and I don't like, again, how I look, how I'm saying something. And so we're not doing that. We're not doing that this time. I just don't need to do that. I mustn't do that. So I will simply communicate. The result is that this video is going to be maybe a little bit more erratic, but you can follow along. You're very smart. It's great. We, I think, often tend to have a spectrum of struggling on the one end to thriving on the other. You're either struggling or you're thriving. And I think I might be thriving right now. I'm alive. I think I'm gonna live for a very long time. I'm also terrified that I'm gonna relapse, of course, and I'll know more in a couple months. So that's always in the back of my mind, that maybe I'm not thriving. But let's assume that I am thriving. I'm also struggling. And I don't think thriving is a painless act. I think the past year has fundamentally ingrained in me that to thrive is kind of a violent thing. I mean, think of your houseplants, right? And when they start really growing, it's not neat. It's messy business. It's really messy to thrive. And I do feel like I'm currently doing this. I'm going in all directions and it hurts, literally. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not doing something interesting. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. I am quite potentially thriving. I'm also very much struggling and also vegetating. I am, some days I am not accomplishing very much because I am really, really tired. Do I have any reading plans for September or for autumn in general? It finally is starting to feel really very much like autumn. This weekend, we really kind of turned the corner, I think, into autumn in New York. So I'm thinking ahead. There's definitely the kind of back to school feeling recently anyway. I don't know how much reading I'm going to do this month. I would like to get back to doing at least a tiny bit of reading for pleasure, kind of non-required reading. Here are a few things that at least are on my horizon as possible things that I could hold me. I have a couple of tiny penguin modern classics that I pulled at the beginning of the summer that I think could interest me. Also, it's nice that they're really tiny. I can just literally put them like in a pocket. So that might work for me currently. I'm not sure. I've said before that really short form things sometimes are actually more difficult for me to get into. But in the past month, I have actually read some short stories and shorter pieces in periodicals like the Paris Review. So maybe. We'll see. I pulled a Natalia Ginzburg from the library recently because I love Natalia Ginzburg. So this is Family and Borghesia. They are both super short, and I think each is under 100 pages. So I think this could be a good contender. I like her short works. There are a couple more that I might try to read soon. So that's a possibility. I also was sent The Quiet Ear by Raymond Entrobus by Hogarth, and I'm interested in this. This is a memoir of the author's deafness, and I'm a musician. I love thinking about bodies and sound, and I don't know what the lens of this is per se, but it intrigued me, so I might get to it. It's also, it's blurbed by Hani Fabdur-Rakib. I'm a stan, so that piqued my interest. I would like maybe to get to those books that I didn't read from my summer reading list, and I'm sure other things will kind of crop up for me. Let me know actually what you think I should read soon. I think kind of in the 100 to 150 page zone would be good for me. I might make a video soon about short books that can kind of rekindle a spark for reading, but we'll see. I think that's all I've got for you. I'm going to plunk this together and post it. That's the plan. Thank you for watching. Will I be updating more regularly in the next few weeks? Frankly, I don't know. We'll see. I have some things to sift through. I hope a little bit more. We'll see. Stick around, please. Bye. Thank you.